It's top 10 time. That's usually an exciting time for any YouTuber. I assume you're going to be editing in some flashy, like, dun, 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 or whatever you're going to do to get the hype going. So let's just get straight into it. With number 10, we have LeBron James taking a little bit of a fall down from number six. And the only reason he's taking this fall is because that man is old and going into his 21st season. And we kind of know that he's going to be excellent. And we know that he's going to be a top 10 player in the league, which like is no disrespect, irrelevant if he's 10 or one. It's just he is not the key to the Lakers' success anymore. It's Anthony Davis staying healthy. And they're also going to be more interesting going into this season than they have been the previous two due to Russell Westbrook because they have proper role players and LeBron hopefully can play a Swiss Army knife sort of role to Anthony Davis. And I think that's where he deserves to be. Number nine, like, or whatever you're going to do. I I bought into the hype. I bought into the hype. And this man, is doing some things in the offseason now, dating Shakira. Jimmy Butler, really, really, just the hottest thing right now coming out of Miami. And I know that he's going to have a down regular season. And I guess this really thinks, how I approach my voting here. But that is a man I want on my team. And even if he's not going to do anything for me for 60 to 70 games of the season, when it gets down to crunch time, that is a top 25 player. That is a top 10 player, in fact. In fact, he's a number nine player on my list. Number eight, like, or whatever you're going to do. Dropping down a little bit from number five, I think the dynasty might be waning and he's going to do his best to keep it alive, but it's not going to matter too much. Is Steph Curry. I think he's going to have like close to 30 points a game. I think he's going to have another 400 threes. He's going to be entertaining. He's going to be great. But the rest of his supporting cast and just how much money, that dynasty feels like it's over. And it feels like they're just getting their revenue for all the championships they did bring to the Bay and all the generation of interest that Golden State's generated. But Steph Curry down to number eight. Number seven, like, or whatever you're going to do. Uh, Up from number eight, taking that 1 point jump. It's Kevin Durant. It's my love of Phoenix. Really deadly efficient in Denver. And the one thing that will keep him out of a top five situation here is the fact that he is probably going to get injured again because he likes getting injured now every season. Minor injuries, of course, fingers crossed, but he isn't going to play the full season. But when he gets to the playoffs, he's deadly. Him and Booker really proved, especially taking 2 games off the eventual champions, that offense can be quite potent. And now that Bradley Beal's slotting in there, I think his efficiency is going to go up. His numbers might take a slight dip, but he's still the best scorer that really exists in the league at this point, and that deserves at least the number seven spot. And then number six, like, or whatever you're going to do. I think this player has a bit of a reinvention occurring, and he's down from number three. It is Luka Doncic. Luka is talented. Luka can do whatever he wants on an NBA court, and he has potentially the worst running mate of all time in Kyrie Irving ready to accompany him along the full journey. They have made some good role player moves. I don't know if it's going to be enough, but the big reinvention here for Luka is he can be a top 10 talent just by being ISO heavy and using the ball 40% of the time, but it isn't going to yield the wins that he wants. And there's still some learning that needs to occur there. And that's why I've got some reservations about putting him in the top five. So I see a lot of faces along the way here. I feel like LeBron wasn't contentious, and then you really lost all respect for me.
I'm
So
I'm
share your thoughts. Tell me
I'm
what's
gonna
going
I'm
on.
gonna do some favors by doing some editing with your sound effects at the start. I'll make sure I put them before every single one of your next five players you've given us here, which is surely shocking. And somehow now by sheer mathematics, you have Booker in the top five, I think. But let's not go there yet. Okay, let's start with my number 10. Okay, number 10. I have Donovan Mitchell from the Cleveland Cavs at number 10. I think he had a great year. I think he's yet to prove he's a winner. That's his only knock yet. Yeah. All right. That, if the Cavs had won at least one round, I think you would have moved him up higher too. Okay. But there's many players out there that are highly talented that have that similar knock. And look, I think he's a top 10 talent. Donovan Mitchell, can he get the Cavs and help the Cavs get to, win a few rounds of the playoffs? That will change the narrative around him significantly this upcoming season. At number 9, I have SGA. You had him at 11, I think. Yeah. And so that's pretty similar. Huge jump, obviously up from 48 from last season. Suddenly, OKC are ahead of schedule. They're like a dark horse contender now. Getting Chet back as well, paired with Giddy and SGA. I love the kid. I love what he does. He does it, in a way that no one really pays much attention, and just gets the job done. And I think, again, similar to some of the other players, if they can really build on what they've done so far, these younger teams, if they can build what they've done so far at OKC, SGA will be a huge proponent of that as a top 10 player in my rankings right now. Number 8, I have LeBron James. You had him at 10. Yeah, so I got him at number 8. I think as you broke it down, and we'll talk about this a little bit more, okay? And as I broke it down too, when I picked my 25, AD or LeBron, it was like, which way? Like, like you could have justified going AD at 8 and LeBron down at for me, at LeBron down at 13 theoretically. But look, LeBron still statistically does a lot of things on the floor. His impact on winning specifically is waning. He is pretty much recognized as a second option now at Lakers. But I think I don't know. Like I said, we'll break this down a bit more, but I think LeBron at number 8 feels right on my list there. At number 7, I have, same as you, look at that, another agreement. KD. We got KD at number 7. That said, I had Booker at 11. Yeah, I haven't had Booker on your list yet, so I don't know. All right, so I'm saying KD is a better player than Booker still at this point of the career. I'm saying KD is more important in the Suns than Booker at this point in his career. I'm saying KD is still a top 10 player in the league, and he falls at number 7. Like you said, an assassin from a scoring point of view. I think he's going to continue to just put up the numbers that he always does. It's sort of regardless of the surroundings around him in that sense. At number 6, and it's funny, we just spoke about this player off air, right? So I got Tatum. I have Jason Tatum at number 6. Yeah, look, I don't know. Well, yeah, I'm sure you're going to say something here, and you obviously broke down why you got Doncic and Curry, in this list too, in this bracket. I think Tatum is a talent, but he's not top 5 yet. And I think the 5 names in front of him clearly have resumes, production, and impact on what they do on the floor more than Tatum. And I think, like I said, it's a deep league nowadays, right? And it's a hard one when you have to break down all these players and where do you slot them. And yeah, look, Tatum didn't get the cut to top 5 here. I got Tatum at number 6 here at the Celtics. Hit me with what you think, man.
No, look, I think it's top 10. This is where, I don't want to get caught up in like, oh, who should be one higher or one lower, right? I think everyone that we're mentioning at this point, we're probably going to have a very similar top 10.
No
Maybe
way.
one or
I
two
hate your
pieces
list.
to the
Your
out.
list is terrible.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Have a
Jimmy
respectful
Butler.
conversation here.
Jimmy
What are we
Butler
doing?
is not top 10. How can I rate? I don't know. I feel like you're rewarding winning, just like you pushed Jamal Murray all the way up that list to what, 17? You got Jamal Murray at 17. Yeah. All right. You got Jimmy Butler at 9. I think that's crazy. I think Steph Curry you've got at dropping down to 8. I think that's crazy. All right. His stats are up from the year before, and his game's going to age well. All right. His shooting, his shooting stats are up. His scoring is up. His play across the board is up. His minutes are exactly the same. Okay. I don't know. I hate this bracket that you come up with.
Okay.
I
So
can't wait to see your top 5.
I think, okay, in reference to the Curry thing, Chris Paul is coming in there. I think you and I could potentially agree on the fact that this might be a D'Angelo Russell situation where they're going to keep the books going for a bit and then make a trade maybe at the midseason. There's no way that's going to work very well. Klay Thompson is in decline, whether or not he's able to admit it. If he's going to chuck me one of these, thank you, Klay, for the recognition. But that he's in decline, and Draymond Green is integral to what they do, but is still declining as well. Steph Curry is going to have a higher focus. I don't see him being as productive, and 8 is not as disrespectful as you think it is. And if you're putting him at 5, you've just put him 3 spots higher. Like we're starting to split hairs here. Jimmy Butler, I admit, is going to have a down regular season. It's just the fact that I'm sorry, we cannot disregard the fact that that man took a team to the NBA Finals for just the second time, and with an asterisk there, because actually it's the first time that an 82 game season yielded an 8 seed into the finals. And he didn't just do it from the 8th seed, technically. He also did it via the play-in route, in which they lost the first game and did that. He went from the worst possible scenario to getting to the NBA champs. And Denver was a juggernaut that season. And honestly, if he went up against Phoenix, right, and this is as a Phoenix fan, but we could have conceivably said that was a more competitive series because Phoenix and Miami would have been a little bit more on par than what Denver was at that point. Denver was on a different level. So let's not penalize him for not winning a championship. And if he had win a championship, I still feel like your logic here, we would just disregard that because he's not going to be fantastic during the regular season. That man is a top 25 talent. And that's how my list is reflected here. I want that if I could draft, this would borderline be my draft. In this order, I would draft these players.
I just yeah, I don't know. You got you just you're not gonna sway me on this. That's the reality of how
That's
it
fine.
goes, right? I think you Jimmy Butler had a great playoffs, but we're talking about a bigger picture, and the playoffs are about 20 games. Yeah, counting losses too, right? So you need 16 wins and X amount of losses, so it'd be about 20 games or so. We're talking about the bigger picture, an 82 game season. Yeah, that's the part where so if you weight that, the playoffs, yes, it is the playoffs. Yes, it's the finals. Absolutely. All right. But at the most, that's 20% of the whole schedule. Okay. At the most, let's say you doubled the importance of that, made that 40% of your whole weighting, all right, on how you judge these players. It's still not 50%. So you still have to judge the bigger picture. And at the end of the day, Jimmy Butler, you can make the argument here that what if the Heat had won more games in the regular season and didn't have to play from that sort of position? Okay, and now you could say maybe they wouldn't have played that way and so on and so forth, and therefore they wouldn't have, got that far. Perhaps, okay, that's a whole nother argument, okay? But you could say that they could have avoided all of this. They could have got a week of rest instead of playing the play-in and those 2 extra games and so on and so forth. If Jimmy Butler had stood up last year and helped them win a few more games during the regular season. Okay, and I think that's the bigger picture for Jimmy Butler here. I've got him at 19. I think it's top 25, absolutely. All right, but you're saying top 10 here. You've got him, above, players like LeBron. You basically got Jimmy Butler above LeBron. I don't know. That's crazy. This feels like the first time, only time I'm going to defend LeBron here. But you're saying Jimmy Butler is better than LeBron? No way.
I think what he means to Miami, Jimmy Butler makes Miami go. LeBron James isn't going to be the factor that makes Lakers go. Look, at this point, I just want to sneak in as many Shakira lyrics as possible. All right. Jimmy Butler don't lie. All right. He's got hips. He knows how to shoot a mid-range. He knows what he's doing. All right. He's waka waka. I don't know.
This is Two Guys with Spare Time. I'm Faz, this is Nick. You're probably a basketball fan like us, so hopefully you can throw us an assist and giving our video a like and subscribing to our channel.
And if you got thoughts, feelings, or even some suggestions, please put them down in the comment section below. And thank you for using your spare time to watch us in our spare time.